What's up, guys? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Scribbles, the artist and crocheter behind Eclectic Scribbles, and we are starting a new video. So I am deep into con prep. This morning alone, I have printed all of these sticker sheets and cut them out, and I have so much more to do. Individual stickers are next. I've been doing prints. I've been doing everything. So that got me thinking, a lot of you are starting out your journey with markets and conventions, and I figured I would give you my top tips for getting started with selling at markets or conventions. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And tip number one is just get started. So I have this tendency to fall down the rabbit hole of research and trying to find out everything that I possibly can before I do something. And that is really going to hold you back. So if you are looking for markets in your area, just find a market, start selling, start doing your thing. If you are looking for conventions, look for local conventions, apply, and get going. So if you are doing local markets, there are several things that you can do. You can research your local area on Facebook to do that. You can search event sites like Event Any, which I will link down below. That's how I found a lot of my beginner markets. If you are doing, I have art people here and I have crochet people here because I do both. If you are looking for a market that is local to your area and you want to make sure that you do well at this market, I would suggest that you look for something that includes the word art in the title, because art doesn't necessarily do well at craft markets. If you catch my drift, they're more like hands-on kinds of things than they are art. However, if you are looking for something to sell your crochet at, craft fairs are always good for crochet artists. If you are looking for things like conventions, oh, and Facebook. Check Facebook, check Instagram in your local area for things like markets as well. All right, moving on to conventions. If you are looking for conventions, then there are several places that you can get inspiration. You can just Google conventions in your area. You can go on a site like fancons.com, which I'll link down below, which give you all the states and all over the world and what events are happening, where and when they're happening, you know, all of the details. I got a dog trying to get up here. You can also join a Discord server like the Artist Alley International Network, Artist Alley Network International, the Annie Discord. I will link it down below. I think I can link you a straight to it. I'll double check that. That is also a good place to research the different conventions, what people thought about the conventions. It is just a great place to sort of become part of the Artist Alley convention circuit, the exhibitor circuit, and just get a lot of information on each individual convention. There is also a section in that Discord that will tell you when applications are opening for specific conventions. It will allow you to go into rooms dedicated to each convention. So I highly recommend joining the Annie Discord and looking on that fancons.com website. All right, my tip number two is to start small. You don't have to come in just guns blazing with everything. If you're a crocheter, crochet a bunch of different things that you happen to like crocheting. Make one or two of each if you're doing it for just a local market, maybe up to 5 of something. You know, just make sure that you can fill out a table. Generally speaking, conventions are going to start at 6-foot tables for Artist Alley. Markets will probably go up to like a 10 by 10 booth. So just make sure that you have enough to fill out your booth nicely. If you don't have enough for like a full into it 10 by 10 booth, then don't be afraid to keep your table right up at the front of your booth for people to walk by and just fill up that front table. Just use the back for storage. You don't have to fill up a 10 by 10 table, but I will say the more you make, obviously, the more potential you have to earn. If you're doing art, then I would start with the same thing, fill up a table, maybe 5 to 8 art pieces like prints or something. You're going to want to start with something small like prints or stickers or sticker sheets. These are always popular items in an Artist Alley or market setting for people who can just pick up and grab. I offer mini prints and large prints, so do most people. So you can offer different sizes of the same thing to fill out your table. Stickers and sticker sheets, you know, whatever you have, just don't go all out. When you're first starting, I wouldn't suggest investing a lot of money up front. You want to see if you've got the right venue, if your audience is where you think it is, and so you want to sort of test your market to start with. So start with an artist alley table, not an exhibitor booth. Start with smaller items that you can make in-house rather than outsourcing a bunch of stuff and putting a lot of money down. When it comes to actually making your items, if you invest in a decent printer and a cutting machine, you can make the majority of your items by yourself, and the cost of doing so is going to be a lot less in the long run. So if you get a nice printer, I have a really nice print quality printer. I have the Canon Pro 100, which I will link below, but you don't have to go with anything so substantial to start with. I also have Eco Tanks, which are perfectly fine to start your print journey and your sticker journey as well. And then with the cutting machines for stickers, I personally suggest the Silhouette over a Cricut, but you can go either way. There is also a Sizer, which I cannot remember the name of. I think it's Juliet or something like that. So find your cutting machine. I will link some cutting machines down below. Again, I recommend the Silhouette over the Cricut 100% of the time. So that's just my personal opinion. Get yourself a cutting machine. My cutting machine is right back here. I have 2 at this moment. That way you can make everything in-house, which is going to cost you a lot less money than if you were to outsource. There are places that you can outsource if you cannot invest in a printer or a cutting machine at the moment. A lot of people use Cat Print for prints. Some people use Walgreens for prints, like photo prints and things like that. So find a local printer that you can work with, and that is going to probably be less money than if you go with one of these website deals. But I mean, if that's the only thing that you have to go with, yeah, a lot of people use Cat Print. I don't have a really good recommendation for actual prints because I print my prints myself. For stickers, you have got a ton of different options. You've got Sticker app, Sticker Blitz, Sticker Ninja. Places like Vograce do stickers. There's all kinds of things. So you're just going to have to test the water as far as if you're trying to outsource your stickers. I know a lot of people rave about Zap Creatives. I know a lot of people rave about Sticker App. I think that those places are a lot less expensive than some of the other places. I 100% do not support Sticker Mule. I cannot. Just don't use Sticker Mule. You can get so much more for so much less and still good quality from any of the other competitors. Zap Creatives is based in the UK, so you're going to be working with UK measurements and UK distance there. I got a bunch of vinyl sticker sheets from them, and the quality is fantastic. They do other things like pins and all kinds of stuff as well, so you can check out Zap Creatives. I will link them down below. And Sticker App, I know a lot of people use Sticker App, and I've heard that their quality is good. I've never used them myself, but based on some of the other people in the art community that I have met and that I have seen rave about Sticker App. So there are some suggestions for stickers for you. Most places that do individual stickers are going to be able to do sticker sheets as well. So just look into it. Don't be afraid to find the right manufacturer for you. I am currently in the process of trying to outsource my stickers by going on Alibaba and finding and sourcing manufacturers. I actually have samples that have been put in the mail and they're on the way to me. So don't be afraid to get on to Alibaba or a website like that and find what you need. The sourcing of manufacturers is not as scary as you would maybe think it was. If you want to have me go into detail about sourcing manufacturers and things like that, let me know down in the comments and I will definitely do a video about that. Tip number 3 is to reinvest into your business and grow over time rather than trying to do everything at once. So you've gotten into your show or market, you started small which was fantastic, and you came back with a little bit of profit. Try and pay yourself out of your profit if you can, and then take what you can and reinvest it into your business. So you start with the bare minimums, and each time as you start to grow, you can level up each of the things that you want to. For instance, it's taken me a year, but I have grown to using standalone grid panels, collapsible shelving, customized tablecloths, vending machines, and all kinds of other things. So as I grew with each individual market or convention, I would take some of that profit and I would reinvest it into my business as much as I could. And those are the things that I have grown with over the course of the last year. So pay yourself, give yourself a little bit of money. If you're doing this as a side hustle, then try and reinvest all of it. If you've come away with some profit, try and reinvest all of it. If this is not your sole income, if this is your sole source of income, try and pay yourself as much as you can and then reinvest into your business. It may take you a little bit longer to grow to the level that you want, but you will get there. Next up is trying to develop an online presence in addition to selling in person. Selling in person, one, it can be difficult at times to get into different markets and conventions. The bigger the convention, the more difficult, unfortunately, it is to get into that convention. If it is a highly sought after convention, the chances of getting into it are slim to none, especially if they allow people to re-up their table from year to year. For example, I have been trying to get into GalaxyCon Raleigh for 3 years, 4 years, something like that, and I still can't get in because they have a 98% retention rate. The same thing for MegaCon. I know that the wait list on that is crazy. San Diego Comic-Con is a crazy wait list as well. So there are several things that, several different events that are just nearly impossible to get into. So what you want to do is, in addition to selling your stuff in person, try and start to build your online presence. You can do this by social media. You can do this on YouTube, doing vlogs and or con recaps and market recaps, or if you're not willing to do that, get a newsletter. Start a newsletter, allow people to sign up for your newsletter, start to build an online shop or website, either, on Shopify or something like Shopify, or on Etsy, which is a great place for beginners because there's a marketplace built in. Start to develop an online presence in addition to selling your stuff in person. That way people know where you're going to be, when you're going to be there. They know what you have that is new in stock, and you can start to curate some online sales in addition to all of your in-person sales. So you want to lead into tip number 5, which is diversify your income. Diversify your income. There are a number of ways to do this. Social media is one of those ways. YouTube is one of those ways. I have YouTube, Patreon, and my website are my main sources of income at the moment. I also have an Etsy shop that has started to resurge a little bit. I have a fair wholesale account, so I have definitely put my eggs in different baskets, so to speak. So those are the things that I have in addition to selling in person, and it's a really, really good idea to have several streams of income. That way, if you have a market or a convention that happens to be a flop, you've got other things backing you up. Patreon is a little bit more in depth, and you're going to be getting monthly pledges, but you need to find your audience before you can really start to earn on that. But for all intents and purposes, I love Patreon. Ours is growing every day. So if you want to jump over on our Patreon, see what it's all about, I will link that down below as well. I absolutely freaking love Patreon, and my patrons are so great. I'm actually about to release some of my patterns over to the Crochet Vault. So if you want to go over there and check it out, we've got a lot of new exciting art coming up as well. So I am super excited about everything that's in the works over at Patreon. If you want to jump over there as a free member, you are welcome to do that as well. You can get updates and all of that information as well as a free member. But if you want the rewards, there are several different paid tiers, and I highly suggest supporting small businesses and artists and things like that on Patreon, because it helps them keep creating art. And for people like me who do it as small business help, art, crochet, and all of that stuff, it really helps us get from one event to the next, and you get fun rewards in return. So I mean, it's a win-win. YouTube, you can, like I said, do market vlogs, recaps, prep, anything like that that you would like to do. You can build up. You have to build up to 1,000 followers and 400 or 4,000 watch hours to get monetized on YouTube, but I highly recommend it. I think it's worth it. I think it is worth it. I get a lot of sales and Patreon members and everything from YouTube. In fact, I think most of my online traffic is derived from this YouTube account. So can't complain about that. Can't complain about that as well. Social media with like Instagram and TikTok and things like that is a little bit harder to grow on and find your audience in, but it's worth doing. I don't know. Social media is a little bit iffy for me. I'm not in love with social media. I don't enjoy social media as much as I used to. But even if you use something like TikTok or Instagram to find patterns, to find inspiration, to post your own work and use as a portfolio, and maybe a visual video portfolio of your setups and what you offer and things like that. When you go to apply to conventions, you can use Instagram as a curated portfolio. You can use video logs from TikTok as a visual portfolio of what you offer. And so that is what I would actually suggest using social media for. And then, like I said, have an online presence as far as being able to sell your items online via either a website, my bird's going crazy, or an Etsy account. I suggest starting on Etsy. I know that the fees are sometimes ridiculous, but they have a built-in platform, unlike other platforms where people are actively searching for things every single minute of every single day. So I would start small with Etsy and then build up to something like Shopify. But you can always use like the free versions, websites like Shopify, to go in and build a portfolio as well, because some shows will require you to have a portfolio available. All right, you guys, that is my 5 tips for starting out selling at markets and conventions. Get started, apply to those shows, start local, okay? Before you go traveling across the country, start local and start to build up your inventory and build up your audience. Then start with your smaller artist alley tables and build up as you go from show to show. Reinvest in your setup and what you offer with each convention that you go to so that you can grow over time. Develop an online presence so that you can sell your stuff online in addition to at markets and conventions in person. And then diversify your platforms, diversify your income. Make sure that you have several different revenue streams that you are driving all of your traffic to, so that if one thing is lagging or if it's an off season for one specific thing, you have other things coming in as well. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Put a big thumbs up emoji down in the comments if you found this helpful. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. Just tap that little thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ding the little notification bell so you're informed each and every time I upload new content. I will see you in the next video. I love your faces so much. Okay, thank you. Thank you. If you have any other questions about starting your business, drop them down in the comments as well. And if you ever want business advice or anything like that, jump over to my Patreon. And I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, goodbye.